The questions we faced were as simple as they were profound. Would we respond, or would we look the other way? Would we be strong, or would we be weak? Would all of our allies, would be united or divided?
Give me a break, man.
Give me a break, man.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Benny. It's really interesting to see how the rest of the world looks in at America and our leaders, especially the rest of the free-thinking English world. You know, we really are embarrassed about Joe Biden, but does that really translate internationally when he stumbles and bumbles and falls and is incapable of speaking the English language? Well, the answer to that is emphatically yes. Yes, it does. Let's head on over to Australia, where Rita Panahi has a great show on Sky News, and she regularly tracks what is happening with Joe Biden and the Biden administration, to the point of actual tears being cried on live TV there in Aussie land, the sweet land down under, making fun of how down the United States is.
Joe is healthy and vigorous and is fit to successfully execute the duties of the presidency.
Bridge over the Holly River. Look, in Washoe County in Nevada, we're spending $89 billion to add several lanes.
Brilliant. And Biden was this week in no mood to answer questions about his weird response to random balloons being shut down. And then he got very angry when journalists asked questions about his family's dodgy business dealings with China.
There's been criticism trying to compromise by your family's business relations.
Sir, Mr. President,
give me a break, man.
Did you overreact?
Give me a break, man. But back to that routine physical he completed this week, where an extremely detailed neurologic exam found no sign of cognitive decline, none at all.
You know, our natural wonders inspire, and the reflection inspires our to take action. You know, America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping, traveling with him. And that's, we traveled 17,000 miles when I was vice president. I don't know that for a fact. A solid meeting with they make a very good point. Here's the deal. Here's what drives the driver in the states that are affected. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
You know the thing. Now, Joe Biden has been cognitively sound for years. I mean, only a perfectly sane man in peak physical and mental condition would recount a story like this.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did, and back in those days, to show how things have changed, one of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. In those days, you used to remember the straight razor, you'd bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in a rain barrel, get them rusty. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, no man has ever been better equipped to lead the United States, and indeed all of the free world, and the current commander-in-chief. We're in good hands, folks.
And she doesn't save her dry powder for just Biden. Kamala Harris gets it hard from Rita.
Cackling nincompoop who is a heartbeat away from the presidency. the comprehensively incapable Kamala Harris. Her wretched performance this week has cemented her place as the worst vice president in US history. And my word, they've had a few doozies, including one who shot founding father Alexander Hamilton dead. Yeah, you shot him dead. And another one who couldn't even spell potato. But you know what? Dan Quayle is a genius when compared to Kamala. After a cringeworthy performance in recent weeks, she had the opportunity to redeem herself during a vitally important trip to Poland and Romania as Russia's invasion of Ukraine plunges the region into a deepening crisis. The White House said her visit will demonstrate the strength and unity of the NATO alliance. What it actually did was demonstrate the utter ineptitude of the Vice President.
Okay, so this time, Szanowna Pani Redaktor.
You might be wondering what prompted that mad cackling during such a serious press conference. Was there perhaps a moment of lightness during such a dark time? Well, no. That embarrassing performance was prompted by a serious question about the unfolding refugee crisis.
Is the United States willing to make a specific allocation for Ukrainian refugees? And for President Duda, I wanted to know if you think, and if you asked the United States to specifically accept more refugees.
Okay. A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Okay, I can first. Okay, so this time.
Why are we laughing? Why? It's little wonder that Ukrainian President Zelensky's former press secretary said this of Kamala after that chuckle-happy performance with the Polish president. It would be a tragedy if this woman won the presidency. Never mind winning it, the fear is she'll be installed president during Biden's first term should the 79-year-old's health decline further. But put the mad chuckling to one side. Kamala Harris's incompetence and complete lack of foreign policy acumen was on display every time she actually answered a question.
We all watched the television coverage of just yesterday. That's on top of everything else that we know and don't know yet, based on what we've just been able to see. And because we've seen it or not doesn't mean it hasn't happened. But just limited to what we have seen.
It's not funny. It's tragic. And it only got worse.
I am here, standing here on the northern flank, on the eastern flank, talking about what we have in terms of the eastern flank and our NATO allies, and what is at stake at this very moment. What is at stake this very moment are some of the guiding principles around the NATO alliance.
Given that train wreck performance, you can see why Kamala tried to handball a question about historic inflation in America to the Romanian president. Watch this carefully.
If I can ask you, Madam Vice President, President Biden has said that Americans will feel some pain for the sake of defending freedom and liberty, but there does seem to be no end game in sight. How long should Americans expect? How long should we be bracing for this really sort of historic inflation and some unprecedented gas prices?
Sure.
Oh, no, me? My turn? Oh, okay.
It's yours, yeah.
Hopeless. And I won't make you listen to her try and fail to answer that rather obvious question. And I won't go into all the ways she's failed to have any impact on the illegal immigration disaster the US is experiencing after being put in charge of the border crisis. I'll just end by saying Kamala Harris is proof of what can happen when you disregard meritocracy and embrace identity politics. Kamala is what happens when you choose people for key roles, not according to their ability, experience or acumen, but according to their gender or their skin colour. Good luck, America.
I would give anything to see Kamala Harris sit down for an interview with Rita. My all-time favorite clip, though, however, that led to me first following Rita's work is this one. Again, it is harrowing to see how American politics is digested and viewed abroad. And I suppose it's good to see that they see Joe Biden the same way we do.
Let's see what the leader of the free world has been up to lately. Well, the president was back looking frail and confused as he signed the Inflation Reduction Act, which will do absolutely nothing to reduce inflation. But if you think we're being unfair picking that moment to highlight, well, let's not pretend it's an isolated incident. Joe Biden is quite often utterly and hopelessly muddled.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, from Charlotte, another line going from in Florida down to Tampa. Of Putin's kleptocracy, yeah. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him. The idea that Los Angeles and what am I doing here?
I don't know what you're doing here either, Joe. Here's another hot minute of Biden being thoroughly disorientated.
For two reasons. One, we haven't been able to communicate it in a way that is, let me say another way. But the nature, not a solid meeting with they make a very good point. Here's the deal. Here's what drives the driver in the states that are affected. Here's what you can do, the drivers.
We want to expand pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds, millions of pre-K students.
No, that's enough. At some point you feel bad mocking the bloke. Yes, he might be the most powerful man in the world, and yes, he is doing enormous damage to the US and to the world. But I think we all know someone else is pulling the strings.
Okay, so we have a maxim on this show, which is you can either cry tears of joy, laughter, or you can cry tears of sadness in dark times. And so people have always been given that choice. Your ancestors have been given that choice. We are not the first people to live through idiot leaders or incompetence or people who have a total and complete bloodlust to start world wars. We have been led by idiots before. We'll get through it. We'll see what it costs us. But you might as well laugh and cry a little bit while you witness their incompetence, and especially as you work every single day, as we all do here, to try and make sure that Joe Biden is removed from office, impeached, or just utterly humiliated and resigning in disgrace. My name is Benny Johnson. Thanks for fighting alongside with us. See ya. Thank you for watching. Our channel is here to meme the libs until they cry and then to meme them crying. Their tears, they taste just like sweet, delicious ice cream. Salty, too. We ridicule the establishment and the libs because of you. Your support keeps us going. So if you like what you saw, please punch the subscribe button, click like, and ring the little bell so that you know when we're live. Don't you want to know when we're live? And make sure that you subscribe to our email list just in case the plug gets pulled, as tends to happen. If you want to see more of our videos, click here or here. My name is Benny Johnson. Stay free, Base Patriots.